this pod, I sat down with a brother from another mother, my boy, Andre Cassini. We were both a little nervous. This was actually the first time doing a one-on-one and actually retaining the audio afterwards. This is the first time it fully worked. I just wanted you guys to get to know him. Whatever, without further ado, DJ Drecos. Okay, we're all good. Go with a podcast number 2, and here with my boy Dre today.
Yo,
known him a long time.
How we doing?
Goes to Penn State. He actually he was a little late today because he had a math quiz. How'd you do, Dre?
92.
Oh, your instant results?
Yeah, it's like an online class, so
What kind of math?
linear algebra.
Ooh, that's
Not
fun.
so exciting.
Yeah, that's like one of the best ones.
Nah, it sucks, but it's like a requirement for my degree, so
Oh,
had to get it done.
gotta get it done. Where are you working?
I am working for my mom, and she works at like a data structuring company. So I'm kind of, what I'm doing is putting a bunch of user data for clients on phone calls into sort of like a Google type thing where you search it up and you can find all this information.
Okay, so are you on the phone, or are you listening to?
I'm not on the phone.
Are you
So-
listening to phone calls?
No, so we got this program from this company, and so they make platforms and different programs to insert different information like scenarios and what a caller would say, like "Hello, ma'am, this is so and so."
Okay, scripts.
So I put the script in to the program, and when I'm done, it's gonna be a huge database full of all that information.
Yo, this is completely out of left field, but the scripts thing, I looked this shit up like 3 weeks ago, something like that, because I had heard a girl I work with on Sundays got scammed big time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I heard about it, I was like, you gotta be kidding me, because she went and she bought a bunch of the gift cards, like put a couple $1,000s on gift cards to send them to someone. I don't even know the full story, but she got scammed hard and like not good. But I looked up, you ever heard of like Nigerian 401 scams or 491 scams or something like that?
No.
Or how the Nigerians are kind of notorious for that?
No, I actually haven't.
So, yeah, it's called the Black Exid Syndicate. That kind of is a really broad term for all the different levels of like hackers there are in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Not hackers, scammers. And there's some great stories. Cal, actually pull this up just to proof it as receipt. There's this story in 93, and I did hear this on Rogan, but in 93 this Nigerian scammer sold an airport to a bank. So an airport for $243 million, an airport in Brazil. He sold it to a bank. I guess he forged enough papers, whatever. There was nothing there. No airport. He wasn't even like faking claim for it. Was just a piece of land there. But anyway, they're huge for scamming, and
It's all through the phone. It's just on the phone.
a lot. No, some of it's on the phone. Some of it is through. They're huge on social media, taking especially like lonely aged women will empty their
Take
bank
advantage of them.
accounts because they're saying they're doing this. That's where this 90-day fiance kind of whole thing comes from.
He sold the fake airport for $242 million,
242 million.
and there's nothing there.
There's literally nothing there.
That's insane.
And so they do these scams all the time, but the Black Exid. The reason I was saying it's so broad is because like they're not all working together, but they all kind of have the same goals. Like none of them are shitting on each other or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just stealing from other countries, however they can, money. And I was looking into this so much, I found a script that they like hand out amongst their fucking things to get girls to like them or whatever, and then come up with scenarios where they're like high reward, scenarios for a big payout, whatever, to get you to pay that money every time, or at least feel like you're under the gun, and this is like the moment, and it's someone you trust. It's kind of crazy.
That's insane. Like, the stuff they think of just to get money out of people.
It's complex, dude. They sometimes, you know, those emails you get that are like completely random and it'll just have a link in it.
Yeah.
I found out, so when you click that link, a lot of times it used to be you'd get a scam on your computer right then and there or whatever. Now sometimes that's a 419, that's a plant for a fraud. He's made no fraud on you yet, but it's a plant because he sent you that email hoping you'd click that, and now he has access to your emails. And with access to your emails, maybe he can get access to your number, social media, who knows, something like that. But now they'll sit on your information for a couple weeks, read what's coming in, what you're going to digest, kind of like understand you as a person.
Yeah.
And then they'll approach you from some, you know, third party, whatever, and then they'll get you because they already know you. They already know what you're going to give your money up for. Like,
if you're getting like if you're getting like Dick's Sporting Goods emails, then they'll hit you up for like a sports.
You might just get this random sports email, perhaps, or like, you know what?
Stuff like
they'll
that.
They'll get lists of emails,
Yeah.
so they don't know what you're into or who you are before. They just have your email, and they'll send you random emails that you might not know what it has to do with anything, whatever. Hoping you know, if they send out 10,000 emails, all it takes is 200 people to click it, and that's not even a big percentage of them. And so if you click that completely random email, completely out of mistake, one time you're checking your email, now they have access to your shit. And that's when maybe you're always buying shit from Dick's Sporting Goods. They might play as like an agent for Dick's Sporting Goods. You're like a super valued customer. You order whatever, this much money, and then there will be nothing the first time. I saw there's kind of like a levels to how they do it. There'll be nothing within the first phone call. Then there'll be like a second phone call about like this possible huge reward, and it's still something to sit on. And then the third phone call is usually not the same person they've been speaking to. An extended party that like sets on the pressure. It's like, dude, if you don't do this now, like it's your beat, like whatever, like you're never gonna get this money. You know, then it's just gonna be a waste. You got to give now. You got to give them your money now, and they're gonna triple this. They did so much for me. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then they get their money.
And you have. I mean, I have like 1,400 emails right now on Red, and you get something random like that. Anybody can believe that, like.
So many emails, dude. Let me ask you this. This is one of the things I was thinking about, and one of the things I think about in my life, like all the time. I basically just use Twitter. Instagram, all that, I'll like log on for a minute, whatever. TikTok I was on for a while or whatever, but I got pretty bored of it. What do you use? What are you using most of the day?
With this whole quarantine, I look at the screen time app on the phone a lot.
You're eating it up.
But so yeah, I'll look at Instagram, see what like my friends are up to. Obviously, like not much with the whole quarantine, but I usually like Instagram, like to see pictures. Twitter, I obviously love.
You like Instagram to see pictures? I'm gonna second that one. I'm gonna be on your.
I mean, yeah. So Twitter also has hilarious pictures as well, like memes and stuff. So I've been on Twitter since like middle school. That was big.
Middle school is
been around for a while.
Twitter has always been like my favorite social media since I was like literally 12. I think
it's always been around. It's been around the longest.
Really?
Not the longest. Like Facebook would probably be the first.
Right.
But I feel like, were you into Facebook in middle school?
Dude, I was playing Snake and like Farmville. You know, I was playing games on there and I would post a little bit, but I was off Facebook by like 7th or 8th grade. It was like a fad. It was weird. Yeah, it was weird for our age group. It wasn't like it took off everywhere else, but then
because I think around that
it got old quick. Like
I think around that time, that was when it was blowing up in like college. Like that's
Yeah,
where you would put like
that's where
what
it
you would put on
started, right?
Instagram. But we were in middle school, like that was our age. But like kids in college were blowing that stuff up.
Keep it up.
And
Thank you. Sorry. Go on.
so what was I saying? So that was blowing up in college, and then I think once we got into high school, Instagram started becoming big with younger kids, and Facebook kind of like blew up around the world. Like,
Yeah,
you know, my family's from Italy. They worship Facebook, and everything's on Facebook. My dad,
Intercountry Communication, it's huge.
that's where you get all your news, all your see what like
Updates on
friends
your
are doing.
family, like that from across the world. My
Yeah,
dad, it's weird. He's from Portugal. All his family's there. My mom is friends with all his family from Portugal, but he doesn't have a Facebook. So she'll be like updating him on what's going on with the family and stuff.
Yeah, that's what happens with my dad, because like my dad's whole side of the family's there, so we get all their updates, like what's going on there, and obviously like Corona was pretty bad there, so
Right.
we got to see like what's going on in our little town that my dad's from. So I think it's a good tool, Facebook, but we don't really
It's
use
not,
it.
yeah,
Like,
not for me.
no, I would never put up a status or
Feeling
yeah.
cute today.
I
Let's go
don't
for
know,
a
dude.
jog.
It's just
Do you ever? I guess what I have this really bad problem where I'll go on and it's basically Twitter all day, like I said. But then I'll be like reading through it and refreshing it, and then I'll start like beating myself up, like, dude, you're just filling your head with garbage on Twitter all day. You know what I mean? There's definitely good memes and stuff, but like, I don't know if you do. I get worked up
yeah.
going through the feed sometimes. I'm like,
Absolutely.
this is just like ridiculous, and I try and spot bots and stuff like that. Like, I get into it on Twitter for no reason, and then when I get off and I relax, I'm like, why do I do that to myself? Like, I don't know. Do you ever get that feeling with social media? Like,
Absolutely. Like, to me, it just seems like everyone's trying to be a politician. Everyone's trying to be a
it's
comedian.
oh,
Everyone's trying to
virtue signaling.
be a scientist. Like everything, with no credentials and
They go on Twitter and
If you
talk
do-
like they're scientists. Like they.
like if you do get lost in it and start reading a lot, it's just some of it's just bullshit. I mean, so
I feel like I'll see like one of those tweets without getting specific, but it's clearly like, gonna go viral, like because it has a video that's whatever, and then I'll go down in the comments and some of the people's back and forth, it just is so Would you ever talk to people in real life like that? That's what I'm getting to. People talk on Twitter that they probably don't even have the breath in their lungs to say that in person. Like, it just...
that's the thing. Like, social media makes me look at like we kind of grew up with it, like becoming more social and like moving from middle school to high school to college. And like what happened back in the day when they didn't have this stuff to contact people, put out your ideas.
But it still worked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they without social media, people still got together. Even without cell phones,
Yeah.
People will call each other one way or another. It definitely enhances, like, our collective
Because
experience
you see
as
these
humans.
TikToks, like they've got like millions and millions of likes, and
It's like just
it's
like
insane.
yeah.
It's
Well, social media is really good in the way as a collective, like human, we're actually can experience everything together, and like you can see things from Australia that you just wouldn't see, like in your day-to-day life.
or on the like regular
Yeah,
news.
or even news, because
Yeah.
all news is looking for the worst possible thing that fucking happened in the world today. And yeah, dude, just social media, it can be good, but it also has started taking over that news role. Like, people think they need to report on their social media. Like, everyone's a journalist now, It's ridiculous.
You get everybody's opinion, what everyone's doing. Like, although I do like to learn new things on social media and like see new things, I definitely don't like
It's
partake.
great for that.
I don't like partake. Like I don't put out like, oh, I'm doing this right now on Snapchat. I don't really like Snapchat.
I don't like Snapchat at all, personally. I only keep it to buy drugs.
Because the only, like, I think, like, if I put stuff like that on, like, how some people do, like, who the fuck cares, honestly? Like, I don't even care about, like, celebrities doing that stuff, unless it's, like, funnier.
There's, when I see celebrities that are, like, worshipped on social media, like, have, like, the big following, and not only the big following, but the stands. That's the problem, like, the most painful thing. The stands that are, like, look at this bitch doing this thing, like, wow, no one could do it like this. Tell me she's not top 10 ever. You know, tell me this guy isn't top. People like to just, everything on there is he's top 5 all time. Like, it needs to be, everyone needs to be ranked with these, I don't know, stands are just weird. And they totally, like, make me feel a less, like, a disdain for the artist, almost.
Yeah.
Because, like, the artist has to feed into that to a certain extent to make people need to go out there and attack and, like, whatever. It's one thing if people are just supporting, you know, who they like, but people are constantly, there's Kim K and Taylor Swift fans at each other's neck over whatever. I mean, it's mostly Taylor Swift fans, but, like, you know, there's a million examples where you find, like, all these stands just kind of diminishing the whole value of what the artist is doing in the first place. Like, it's just
obviously ups and downs. Like, there's pros and cons to social media, but one pro I can think of is definitely, like, building a brand or a business through it. Like, something I'm gonna try to get into more is I'm a DJ. Obviously.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this.
Told you.
Yeah. It's DJ Dre.
Yeah, I started DJing.
Folks. You'll see him soon. Tomorrow.
Started DJing in the fall of 2019. Had my first gig, but
check out Balcony Mixes on SoundCloud.
SoundCloud, yeah. SoundCloud dash Andre dash Cosini on SoundCloud.
Our first plug, yo, that's crazy.
But yeah, something like DJing, even like you said, like an artist, you can really grow your audience through something like Instagram or TikTok. Even
you see on TikTok or Twitter where I'm sometimes taken aback how, like, a creator does so much. Sometimes I'll see someone who's painted, like, a room full of paintings, and they're all, like, these intricate things, and I'm like, this is really cool that they're able to sell that, you know, on Twitter, take that to Twitter, and now they have a whole new market, and they can also kind of brand themselves on Twitter, and that definitely wasn't there before, and that goes for any business, or even, you know, passion, like creating.
Because if you look at DJing back in the day, like, I mean, obviously it wasn't there, but
yeah,
you'd have to go to a club and get your name out there, say, like, can I please open up for someone?
Probably work door, dude. You probably got to work the club before you even...
And you'd say, like, you don't even have to pay me, like, let me just show you what I can do. But here, if I put out a mix and I send it to maybe, like, 50 club owners, maybe one will... You know, like, there's that chance maybe
25,
one will get me back.
25 won't listen. Yeah. You know, 5 will just throw it away. And then 20 might, you know, just listen for a second. Yeah. 10 might, like, catch something in the first couple seconds. Like, exactly, dude. Yeah. You can mass, like... Yeah.
So...
Tell me about DJing. What exactly are you doing? I never really understood. We've talked about it a couple times. You have a mixed board, or...
I don't make music.
Right.
Like, a lot of people think, like, are you producing? Like, a DJ's job, I'll just lay down a DJ's job first, is to choose the music and mix it seamlessly, so there's never, like, a break in music. You're always dancing, and you don't it's like you don't notice it. Like, the next song comes in, and then the next song, and the next song, and it's an energy that you build. It's not just like, I'll pick this song. Like, you've probably been to concerts and stuff. Like, there's different energy for different songs. And
It's
you're just
important,
trying
like, how a band comes out to bring the energy,
Yeah.
but also the next song to keep it there. You know, you can't plateau, like, right after.
It's calculated. It's a
Mhm.
craft to try to work the crowd so that they have a good time. Like, that's my job.
I remember seeing a movie with Zac Efron where he was a DJ or something. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. It was,
And I remember one thing that do you work for, what was that, perfect number 120 beats or something like that?
so, like, that
Is that
a
a little for
huge
the
part of
movie or
no,
that's
tempo is, like, a huge part of it. Like,
Mhm.
that's a lower tempo song is just going to be, depending on, like, the type, but it's going to be a lot slower. And then, like, sometimes I go up to, like, 132, 135, and that's really, like, hard.
get everyone banging?
And I'd like to label myself as, like, a frat house DJ. So, not, like, a specific genre, but just stuff that'll, like, get kids moving. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like,
Any genre is gonna give you those different beats.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
gotta find what's gonna like seamlessly come through. So you're just mixing then into like trying to find. Do you ever try and make a beat or anything like that?
So that's what I have been wanting to get into.
Yeah, you're looking into
Yeah.
it.
So I would need to get software for that, which I'm gonna do soon.
Right.
Definitely.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Cause my brother's a guitar player, and he was like, I liked your mix. Like, why don't you try to make something? And I was like, yeah, you have a point. My friend who taught me, DJ Phantom, shout out. He like really had no musical background, like no music theory background, and he's like putting out music and mixes that he's made
Mm-hmm.
that are really good. And he's only been doing it for like
How old is
a
it?
couple years, 21 now.
Oh
So,
shit.
like,
Yeah. So
He just graduated college.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And really, if you like put the work in to like learn about chords and melodies, well, melodies.
You gotta
are important,
understand music. Music, fucking.
but like it's all with putting out and keep putting out. So I'm gonna try to get into it.
That's it. I mean, with anything like I want to do with this podcast, like, and just grinding in general.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is like to keep going, and I think that one thing that might hold you back, would be the fact that you got to make songs for your friends. Your friend, you know, you got us down your back. I kind of even got a little annoyed the other day when we were out, and they were like, "When's the next balcony mix coming?" Like,
Yeah.
whatever. And I was like, "Is he even working on it? And is that even what like you want it to do
Yeah.
right now?" And I mean, whatever. You're gonna have pressure with anything, but like, if you're just working in silence on what you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
then you know you don't have to worry about that bullshit.
Yeah.
That with other people getting in your mind, like, oh, maybe I should do this. Because if you're already doing something and like dived into something, then you're gonna forget that. That's gonna go in one ear and out the other.
Yeah. So like, with that, obviously started off. Like I have a love for a lot of different genres of house music and all music in general. Like I play like alternative and rap and house, and that's what I listen to on like a regular basis. Like I'm always listening to music. I'll never walk around without my like headphones in. Always listen to music.
Mm-hmm.
But I have been getting into like a certain type of house that I like more. It's more fun to mix. I think it'll be.
What's that? What?
It'd be like more techno, tech house kind
Okay,
of stuff. Like
yeah.
slower stuff, not like head banging,
Really?
like jumping
Okay.
stuff. And I do want to like separate those things instead of like.
Trying to combine everything
Yeah.
to make a mix. Yeah.
So like, I'm thinking either making like a really long mix for my next one or two separate ones that'll be like kind of different
Yeah.
styles. But
Mhm.
that's the fun. That's the fun thing about it. Like I haven't even been doing it for a year, and I just play around every night. I plug in my board and just have fun with it.
Feel
Like-
out a song.
Like
or
I'll
like-
hear a new song, I get so excited, download it,
Mm-hmm.
just play around with it, see what you could do.
Definitely.
So-
Yeah. Actually, has me kind of thinking. Have you been to any music festivals?
I have not, which is I really
No, dude, I can't. I haven't been either. I'm. We were planning on going to one before the
Firefly in June.
Firefly. Yeah, but then
Yeah, there were going to be
obviously.
a lot of good concerts
But
this summer.
what I was gonna ask you actually is my number one when I think of music festivals, and I would have to go to like other ones, but like I remember looking this shit up when I was like 16, 15. Tomorrowland in Belgium,
Yeah.
like just that fucking whole place is just a trip. Even the plane flights I've seen, if you buy like, but I mean, I don't know if
I
I'm
might be
getting the whole
honest.
package, but
Like those videos, those after movie videos, like that we saw in like middle school, like that might have been what got me into like
where the
trying
where the seed was planted.
yeah, like
Those
honestly,
Tomorrowland, like
those videos.
that was the first, and I remember kind of thinking at that age, like, are these people insane? Like,
Because
we didn't know what the hell that was, that music or anything.
like DJing, it's like kind of like a, how do I word this? Like, it's not like publicized like that. Like how like the movie was made, showing like everybody partying. Like I had never seen anything like that before.
Mm-hmm.
Like a big festival like that, which they kind of pioneered for like EDM music, like Tomorrowland. Because house, like if you read about the history of it, like it's like really underground, like German techno, like would be in like, it was like outlawed, and like
Really?
it was like underground stuff, like in underground
Like
clubs.
discos in Germany?
Like it,
Where
yeah.
it
It
was
was very,
not maybe not a disco, but like a
think about it like grunge here, like in the U.S. Like it
okay.
was like a movement.
Yeah, it was
all art's a movement.
all art's a movement. Yeah,
but like it was
beautiful sentiment.
the main thing for house would be like, who cares who you are, any type of person can come and just everyone's dancing together.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? So like seeing that, I was like, and I've always had like a love, like I love Avicii. He was my first favorite like EDM artist.
Yeah,
And so I
that's
like
sad. I feel like, especially in the time span we were growing up, he had a couple of the EDM songs that would cross over to pop billboards here. You know what I mean? Like and everything.
So
Who else? I mean actually I've definitely listened to some of his stuff. I can't name almost any of it. But Steve Aoki, and I've listened to him talk. The guy's like a fucking Zen master. You know, he's really cool, and he was maybe the first guy I saw at Tomorrowland, or not saw personally, but one of the
Like
first
in the
videos, and I
videos,
was
yeah.
like, and that's when I started like looking him up and thought him a little bit since. I saw he's cool. I don't know. Do you listen to any of his stuff?
some like
He runs a club in Vegas now or something. I think he goes
Yeah,
like
I'll
5-6 nights a week. What?
so like what big DJs do, like the biggest clubs in the world, they'll have residencies there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they'll play like every weekend. Like Stevie Aoki, I think, plays at Omnia in
hmm
Vegas.
I think you're right. It's like a big fucking.
Yeah, it's actually
Ordeal.
insane. I actually just like looked it up and like was researching it, but they have this like, it's millions of dollars. I think like $100 million like chandelier. So this is like a huge club, and above it is a chandelier of lights. But like, don't think like a chandelier like.
Yeah, no, not like a fancy one. I think I know what you're.
It moves like it's like a
Gyrating.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Trying to think one of those.
like a gyroscope.
Yeah.
And it
Gyro-
exactly like that.
Oh, okay.
Here's a
Callie's got the
of it.
picture here.
And it'll come down
Mm-hmm.
and move around, and like also that gets me excited. Like the actual show, putting on a show and stuff like that.
That looks insane. That's almost like a wedding cake is upside down,
But
on the roof.
It doesn't stay. Doesn't stay like
It's
that. Like,
moving
it
and
comes down.
bouncing up and yeah.
It's insane. But that brings me to another part of like DJing is you're putting on a show. So like, in terms
And you're
of,
having fun.
Yeah.
Like that
So,
looks like a good
a
way
lot
to-
goes into it though to like set it up. In terms of like me being a frat DJ, like setting up, I learned a lot about like audio equipment
Mhm.
and like not so much about the lights. We kind of had like problems with the lights. Kind of gotta find like a light guy. But like the main
Are
problem
you
was-
trying to get some lights that will like correspond with your
So that's what we had. We had them on like music active, so it'll move to the beat.
yeah.
But that's not really what we wanted. So we need to find like someone. I could probably figure it out. We just need a board, like a lighting board.
Yeah, it'd be smart of you to figure something like that out now. You
Yeah.
know, at the age you are, because like that would only get bigger if you
Yeah.
progress into it. And I bet you Steve Aoki has a say on what, you know, maybe he even designs it, but like what that fucking crystal ball from the roof is doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he'll probably. You know what probably happens? I mean, I'm not sure about any of this, but like, I would think like the music or the lighting engineers that control. They're in the back and looking at it. So like Steve Aoki's like here and they're perpendicular to him. So they'll probably like know some of his songs that he's playing, but like they'll control it as the night goes on. So like if you want to think about how like shows go, shows like Tomorrowland.
Do they almost have the light engineers?
Yeah, it's like
So
a
you-
mixer.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just gonna ask. Is it almost like bars? Like,
Yeah,
fuck
exactly.
yeah, I guess that makes sense,
that's-
and they can just follow him, like.
So that's what I need for me. Like,
And as a resident too, they see his show, like all it, they have it down.
so
yeah.
they have different stuff going on. Like that's
Right.
their expertise.
That
But
makes
in
sense.
terms of like a show, like that's more of like a club scene, and it's a lot different than like a festival scene. If that makes sense. Like,
Oh yeah.
so Tomorrowland would be more. You don't want to mess up in front of that many people. So I'm thinking like a lot of the DJs like have pre-recorded.
Almost fully
Almost.
pre-done. You know,
Yeah.
they can still touch it up there. Yeah.
They can like, they're like kind of doing things, but they're focusing on like jumping, yelling to the crowd.
Being the energy.
And so the lighting guys for something like that will have like a basis of like what they need to do, like when to set the fireworks off.
They've already heard the.
But something like a club, it's kind of going on for like 4 hours.
And it's
It's all
like it kind of, you can do whatever you want with the night. Like as
Yeah.
a DJ, you can feel
so
it
you're
out.
controlling
and,
the night,
Mhm.
and some DJs go well into the morning, like 5 a.m., going for like 6-7 hours. Like honestly,
I bet they're down in Vegas.
and at that point, I would just think like the lighting engineers are just. I'm not really familiar with all like the lighting stuff. but
Yeah, nah. I mean, I don't mean to dig
But,
in on your lighting knowledge.
that's just like a difference between like the scenes. So, some like when it comes down to me, it's like a little frat DJ. Like, mine are just on sound active, and I'll go for like 3 hours, which is exhausting, to be honest. Jumping up and down, again, it's hot, but it's amazing. It's so fun. And
Did you, totally switching gears here. Did you see anything with that video? Maybe you want to post. I don't know. That UFO in water? No problem. That UFO in Brazil crashed or something.
someone showed me it last night.
Yeah, I only saw it briefly, but it looked like one of the more crazy videos I've seen. Probably can't play a video as well as.
Yeah, I can't pull it up. It's gonna stop the recording. I think.
Yeah, back out of there.
I did
Back
see
out
it,
of there,
though.
That's fine.
I saw
Yeah.
it was like a bunch of lights in the sky.
Yeah,
So
I
that
just
part.
bring it up because, you know, I think we're nearing the end here, and we're gonna be talking about aliens on this show in general.
Yeah,
Maybe not tonight. Maybe we don't have it. Maybe they're listening.
yeah.
Maybe we don't want to say too
I
much.
don't want to piss them off.
Yeah. So we'll leave it at that. Dre, thank you for joining me, my friend.
Thank you, bud.
This was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time. See ya.
That wasn't too rough, right? Glad you got to know my guy Dre, and come back for another episode.